Two elections separated by over 200 years, yet eerily similar in their chaos, polarization, and high stakes. On one side, the election of 1800, a battle between Thomas Jefferson and John Adams that nearly tore the young United States apart. On the other, the 2024 presidential election, a showdown that could redefine the future of American democracy. What do these two elections have in common? And what can history teach us about the challenges we face today? Let's dive in. The 2024 US presidential election could be one of the most consequential in modern history. With issues like climate change, immigration, gender policy, and the economy dominating the debate, the stakes couldn't be higher. But it's not just policy that's driving the conversation. It's the deep political divide that has gripped the nation. Sound familiar? Well, over 2 centuries ago, the United States faced a similar crisis of identity and unity. Let's rewind to the election of 1800. The United States was just 24 years old, and the scars of the Revolutionary War were still fresh. The nation was deeply divided between two political factions: the Federalists, led by President John Adams, and the Democratic Republicans, led by Thomas Jefferson. The Federalists favored a strong central government and closer ties with Britain, while the Democratic Republicans championed states' rights and an alliance with France. Sound like a familiar divide? It should. John Adams, the incumbent president, was a Federalist known for his blunt personality and strong federal policies. His opponent, Thomas Jefferson, was a Democratic Republican who believed in limited government and individual freedoms. But this election wasn't just about policy, it was personal. Both sides engaged in vicious mudslinging, with newspapers serving as their weapons of choice. In 1800, newspapers were the primary source of information, and they were anything but impartial. Federalist papers accused Jefferson of being an atheist and a radical who would bring chaos to the nation. Democratic Republican papers, on the other hand, painted Adams as a monarchist who wanted to crown himself king. Fast forward to 2024, and the battleground has shifted to social media. Platforms like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok are flooded with misinformation, memes, and attack ads. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Here's where things get really interesting. In 1800, the Electoral College system was still in its infancy, and it had a major flaw. Electors cast 2 votes without specifying which was for president and which was for vice president. This led to a tie between Thomas Jefferson and his running mate, Aaron Burr. The decision then went to the House of Representatives, where it took 36 ballots to finally declare Jefferson the winner. Sound chaotic? It was, and it exposed the vulnerabilities of the young nation's electoral system. Now, let's fast forward to 2024. The Electoral College is still in place, and it's just as controversial as ever. Critics argue that it gives disproportionate power to swing states and undermines the principle of one person, one vote. And with the potential for another razor-thin margin, could we see a repeat of 1800's constitutional crisis? It's not out of the question. The election of 1800 tested the young nation's commitment to peaceful transitions of power. Many feared that the losing side would refuse to accept the results, plunging the country into civil war. Thankfully, that didn't happen. But in 2024, the threat to democracy feels more real than ever. From concerns about election integrity to the potential for political violence, the parallels are hard to ignore. One thing that hasn't changed is the role of personal attacks in politics. In 1800, Adams was accused of being a monarchist, while Jefferson was labeled an atheist and a radical. In 2024, the attacks are just as vicious, if not more so. From scandals to smear campaigns, the focus often shifts from policy to personality. It's a reminder that when it comes to politics, some things never change. The political crises of 1800 and 2024 share notable similarities, particularly in the realm of political division and public sentiment. Both elections were marked by intense rivalries and a populace deeply divided along ideological lines. However, the role of communication and technology has evolved dramatically. While the 1800 election relied on newspapers and pamphlets, today's campaigns are heavily influenced by social media and digital platforms, amplifying both information and misinformation. Despite these differences, lessons from the past remain relevant. The peaceful transfer of power in 1800 serves as a crucial reminder of the importance of democratic norms, emphasizing the need for integrity and unity in the face of political turmoil today. So, what do you think? Are the parallels between 1800 and 2024 as striking as they seem? And what lessons can we take from history as we navigate the challenges of today? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into history and its impact on our world. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.